the criminal justice system, the people,
Pimps, addicts, thieves, bums, winos, girls who can't keep an address, and men who don't care.
are represented by two separate yet equally important groups.
A cop, a flatfoot, a bull, a dick, John Law. You're the fuzz, the heat, you're poison, you're trouble, you're bad news.
These are their stories.
Well, it's all happening, and arrests have been made. Ex-NASCAR driver and his son arrested for allegedly assaulting cops on January 6th.
What?
Jared Scott went on an expletive-laden rant after officers shoved him away from the area they were trying to break into. He called them vaginas.
Oh.
And his son said, "You knocked down my father," when his father was pushed back. The retired NASCAR driver and his son charged yesterday in connection with the January 6th assault on the U.S. Capitol. Tig Scott and Jarrett Scott. Tig is 75. Jarrett is 48. There they are.
You said they called people vaginas?
They called the cops vaginas, yeah.
I mean, how often do you hear people use that as an
What?
expletive? You know, usually they use some slang word for it. I've never heard someone called a vagina before.
Well, this is something that has been brought up now by John Watson.
There's
in
never
the
been
chat.
anything like this.
John has said, did he use the word vagina or did he use the C word? He wants to know.
Right.
I see. Well, let's...
That's a new one.
I'll tell you a little bit about it, and you can tell me, but I will give you the answer right now. He used the word vaginas.
That's weird.
Yeah, if he had used the C word, I would have said he used the C word.
Why are you yelling?
Oh my God, you're such a vagina. That's not really what we say.
Well, actually, it is said in a lot of places. All right,
guess so.
Yes, it's not said in any forum that you're usually party to. The Scotts, again, I'll remind you, NASCAR driver and his son, he's a retired NASCAR driver, they scuffled with law enforcement officers trying to hold the line outside the federal building. Police body camera footage shows the elder Scott punching at one officer's riot shield and trying to rip another's shield away. When an officer shoved Scott away, his son, wielding a golf club, began screaming. He called the officers bitches and vaginas,
Wow.
as well as F you all, obviously he used the actual word, and you F mother effers. Again, he used all the words. Federal authorities
Sounds
tracked
like a
them
real
down.
prince.
Yeah, that's right. Sir, did you call the officers bitches and vaginas? And you said, F you all? Federal authorities tracked them down with the help of an anonymous tipster who contacted the FBI in January of 2022. This is after the images of the Scotts were published, along with those of many others who attacked the Capitol that day. The tipster said that one of the men was Tig Scott and thought he didn't know Scott. And though he didn't know Scott personally, he gave the FBI a link to information about them. Scott raced cars in the 70s and 80s, back when NASCAR was tough. 79 was the pinnacle of his career. He placed sixth at Daytona that day. He paid sixth at Daytona and I think 600th in the arrest record and charging documents of the feds. The Supreme Court could face new ethics scrutiny. There is a proposed piece of legislation that would create a dedicated office to investigate alleged ethics breaches by the justices. This was introduced by Congressman Dan Goldman. It's called the Supreme Court Ethics and Investigations Act. The bill would establish an Office of Investigative Counsel to the court to probe alleged instances of ethical impropriety by the justices. It's, again, it's likely to, well, even if it passes, I don't know that you're going to really see much. We've really created a Supreme Court that is out of reach in any way that matters from a judicial standpoint.
And does it feel like an office in Congress to investigate judicial ethics will only really be used as a political tool?
Well, it also feels as though it's just one more thing, like let's impanel a blue ribbon committee about Supreme Court ethics, and nothing really. I mean, yes, you're right. I mean, it could also be used as a political cudgel, I guess. You're right about that. But, I mean, look, this is a series of scandals, and the public trust has been undermined, and yet there appears to be no effort to roll back these undisclosed gifts, these trips, these decisions, the lack of recusal in cases that involve family members. I mean, the court is running amok. Not to mention, that's the corruption of the court that way. I'd suggest that it's philosophically corrupt. They lied in confirmation hearings, and then they go take their seat on the court and they roll back Roe. They lied. They said they weren't going to touch Roe. It's settled law, and then it was the first order of business. So, look, the Supreme Court it's always something that has been political. There's a sense sort of it's more political than ever. Maybe that's true. It's certainly more corrupt and more driven by political agenda, I would say, than any court in my lifetime. Hourly security workers at retail establishments are now wearing police-like body cameras at major stores. The giant TJX, that's the parent company of TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Home Goods, they are equipping some store employees with body cameras. This is to reduce shoplifting and to keep customers and employees safe, they say. The body camera initiative was disclosed on an earnings call. And TJX, that is TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods, not alone. In a survey of major chains, 35% of U.S. retailers say they are researching body cameras for employees. So you may find more of that in the days to come. The FTC is opening an antitrust probe of the Microsoft AI deal. They've sent subpoenas to Microsoft and to the AI startup, asking whether their partnership evaded required government review. More as that becomes public. And the saga of a man who appeared before a judge while he was driving. The dude who zoomed in.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? Yeah. Turns out he was arrested again. Now this story has locked me out, Albert. I have it here, though. Yeah.
He apparently, he was the original story was that he was driving on a suspended license. It turns out he didn't have a license at all. Not suspended, not anything.
What?
Oh, my
He
God.
never had a driver's license.
Liar, your pants are on fire!
Wow. Tough one.
Busted. And then you do this and you drive in front of a judge you never even had a driver's license to begin with? Who does that?
That's not fake. That's real.
He took a shot. Didn't really think it through. That's Law and Disorder for today.
Tune in again next time for more Law and Disorder on The Mark Thompson Show.
All right, that's it. Let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out there.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.